Good evening and a warm welcome to all of you. We will kickstart the program with a prayer by Professor Jiwonu.
We give you all the praise for the gift of life. We also want to thank you for our Father, the Vice Chancellor, and for the work of this university. We pray commit this evening's program into your hand. You are the beginning and the end. We pray for your presence. We pray for your direction. And let this meeting be a success. And at the end, we'll give you all the praise. We bless you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you very much. It is for a reason we are all gathered here this evening. And we will ask the Registrar of Adia University, Dr. Koyo Wright, to tell us why she summoned all of us here, Chief Executives and General Managers alike. Let's welcome Dr. Wright.
Good evening, everyone. As the title for tonight's event says, it's an evening with the Vice Chancellor. So if any summoning was done, it was at the behest of our dear Vice Chancellor, and we are grateful to all of you who were able to make it. The Vice Chancellor, deans, directors, distinguished members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, welcome very warmly to the University of Professional Studies, Accra. On behalf of the Vice Chancellor, we are grateful to each and every one of you for accepting our invitation to spend an evening here on our campus, and specifically with our Vice Chancellor. This year, the Vice Chancellor's vision includes deepening relationships and fostering greater interactions between UPSA and our key partners and stakeholders. And who better to initiate this process with than you, our media partners. During the tenure of Professor Mate, and in some instances prior to his assumption into office, many of you with us today have supported us, believed in our dream, cheered us on, and today we are here where we have exceeded expectations in our drive to offer quality education. So tonight affords us with the opportunity to say first, thank you, and in the next breath, share some more amazing happenings here at UPSA, things that we are certain that when you hear, you'll be willing to share with the rest of the world. You each play a key pivotal role in the growth and development of Ghana. As we continue to debate on topical issues in our shared search for solutions to the problems that may be impeding Ghana's sustainable development, which includes education, we hope we can rely on all of you as our partners to create the space, the opportunities to be able to showcase and tell the UPSA story. As part of our efforts to better connect with you, tonight we will unveil what we call the UPSA Experts Guide. This guide will allow you to present to the media UPSA experts who bring rich perspectives that stem from a blend of advanced research, years of vast industry experience, and thought leadership, which will then help to enrich the socio-economic and geopolitical discourse for national development. From areas such as value co-creation in healthcare service delivery, to digital innovations in public and private organizations, to body language experts, policy development, and poverty analysis, our experts will be ready to add their voices to help calm us and provide direction in these trying times. So please sit back, relax, and engage with the UPSA reps that are at your table, and more importantly, enjoy this evening. It is our prayer that the strategic partnership we have formed over the years will be further strengthened by the end of tonight's press soiree. Once again, welcome to UPSA.
So a warm welcome, and relax and enjoy the short documentary about the UPSA journey. Just a few minutes, and you'll see that we've come a long way, and looking forward to better things to happen to us. So let's enjoy the short documentary.
From modest beginnings, the Institute of Professional Studies, IPS, now the University of Professional Studies, Accra, UPSA, was founded in 1965 as a private professional business education tuition provider by its founder, Nana Opoku Ampoma.
Univesity of Professional Studies, Accra.
Within the period covering 1977 through 1979, under the leadership of Mrs. Theresa Ander, the Institute of Professional Studies was nationalized in 1978 by the Government of Ghana through the Institute of Professional Studies IPS Decree of 1978, SMCD 200. From 1980 through 1993, Mr. J.B. Boama became the director of the institute. Mr. Emmanuel A.K. Akofo assumed the directorship of the institute from 1993 through 2001. In 1999, by the Institute of Professional Studies Act, Act 566, the institute became a tertiary institution carrying the mandate to provide tertiary and professional education in accountancy, management, and related disciplines. By the beginning of 2000, the institute had gained recognition as a preeminent public tertiary institution in business and professional education and the sole tuition provider in Ghana for internationally acclaimed business and professional programs. Dating from 2001 through 2008, under its first director cum rector, Mr. J.J. Mate, the IPS introduced bachelor degree programs for the first time. The first undergraduate programs were in marketing, accounting, and business administration. The IPS received a presidential charter conferring on it the status of a full-fledged public university in 2008.
Welcome, Vice Chancellor. Let's clap for him.
We desire a stronger bond and meaningful partnership with you. We are grateful for your support in the past years, and we want to better that relationship in a reciprocal manner. While we ask that you continue to help us in telling our story, we also wish to positively impact your organization. Among other things, we want to make our experts available to you to bring rich perspectives that stem from a blend of advanced research, years of vast industry experience, and thought leadership to enrich the socioeconomic and geopolitical discourse for national development. We also wish to introduce our existing and new programs to you, and we are open to discussing how our offerings can add value to your human capital so that together we will win. At UPSA, we see very bright prospects, and we expect to see you, our media partners, achieving even greater heights. We are embarking upon an unprecedented opportunity to collectively create a future of unbridled impact that will result from our ambition and imagination. As Vice Chancellor, I am very excited about the opportunity to take this journey together with you. Thank you very much once again. Let us enjoy ourselves this evening, and may our friendship grow from strength to strength. God bless us all. So now briefly, I want to present, they say a picture is worth 1,000 words. Then we start with our market review programs. At the moment, we have 5 diploma programs, 10 bachelor programs, 21 master's programs, and 4 PhD programs. Let's say the details. For the PhD programs, we have a lot of philosophy marketing, which started in 2018, and within 4 years, we graduated the very first batch. That was record
number of institutions that started run a PD program for 4 years in graduated. We did so in record time. Then in 2022, we introduced the Doctor of Philosophy in Accounting. That was last year. There is two now. Then this year, we got an for Doctor of Philosophy in International Studies. We are trying to do that with the Union East University, Ohio. It's a collaboration with them. They are going to come also. Then we debate some revenue for our media partners. And so frankly, it's looking at it later. Then also, we've also granted an invitation to do a PhD in international security and intelligence. This year also, they are to be out. Our entry programs, we have entry in leadership 2009, entry in accounting 2021, 2 years ago, entry in finance 2017, entry in media and digital application management last year. Our MBA programs, MBA in accounting and finance 2009, MBA in marketing 2009, MBA in corporate governance 2009, MBA in internal audit 2011, and MBA in marketing 2011. Our MBA programs again, MBA in technology management 2013, MBA in corporate communications. This is a program good for the media houses 2020, MBA media impact and entrepreneurship innovation 2018. We do this with the Capital University in Italy. Because faculty from Italy come down. It's a fantastic program. Then we have MBA in petroleum accounting and finance. Our MSc programs, MSc leadership 2009, MSc insurance risk management 2020, MSc pensions management 2021, MSc procurement management. Then of course our MBA programs continue. This is the favorite for the media houses. MBA grants and communications management. MBA Peace with Intelligence Sciences 2019, MBA in Media and Digital Application Management, which was introduced. Then we have the postgraduate diploma programs. Postgraduate in leadership and project development. Actually, we did this collaboration with Ashanti Group and Ashanti. And at the end, we did this for them. But others can also join. We are training virtually all their workers in this program. When we finish, they will do that for their employees in Africa and other places. Our bachelor programs, BSc Accounting 2007, BSc Marketing Finance in 2008, but both infrastructure development. So, and that's Postal B from 2012. This is Postal B in 2022. It was commissioned late last year. This is Postal C. We commissioned last month. That's last month, Postal C. These are the way the books look like. We have our academic attorneys on the campus. Our brother, the experience bodies, and other schools. The multiple posting powers, that you see it going up. We transfer that by this year, we'll finish. This is the auditorium that 2019 we commissioned. Called Kofi Ohene-Konadu as the chairman of council was named after him. That's our central administration block. The students center. Okay, it was completed in 2019. That's like not too long. Then the actual test, some 3 years ago, that commission is going to come in. We named after as one head of finance. They decided to name after the former council chairman. That's where all the lectures, most of the lectures take place here. Then that's the library named after the former vice chancellor. Our collaborations, we emphasize on these ones. So we've based on Ibadan, Nigeria, based on Ghana, Rwanda, University of Joburg, South Africa, University of UPSA, and that. University of London, University of Accra, USA, University of Botswana, University of New Brunswick. Actually, the New Brunswick, we send students to the place, and we also send students to us. So we give us some experience, some exposure. Our student athletes. Now, I know that sometimes in media they say UPSA students have a uniform. We don't have a uniform. We encourage students to wear well. But on Mondays, we call it a professional day. traditionally, you are dressed like this on Mondays. And then when we have presentations, you also have to dress like this to do so. But on any other day, you have to dress as befits a student. So that's as the population. And as the population, that makes about 20-something thousand plus 2,000 for postgraduate, 142 for professional, 2,000 diploma, and 40,000 for undergraduate. That gives us 2,131 that's the population for UPSA. So we are not doing bad in the students, maybe 54 minutes and 46 minutes. And so not only the formal winner was our students as well. So these are our students. They won the ICH overall best against candidates. Interestingly, they did this fast at UPSA. These are students who come in without any accounting background, and yet within 4 years, they graduate with the second half, not in first class, and they still become the best student at ICH. That's the kind of opportunities we have. We as well won the prestigious National Achievers Award. That was a Deloitte Academic program. There were 12 finalists from all the universities, University of Ghana, Yale University, Accra, all of that. Out of the 12, UPSA cards, 4 of our students. We took 4, we gave the 8 for them to share. Everybody was small. So that's the everything goes. Interesting. The 6 finalists for the everything goes were all from UPSA. The 6 finalists were all from UPSA. The second the Business Challenge, UPSA also released the second annual challenge Ghana. There is this. We won the Global Business Challenge. First one had the CFA Institute Research Challenge, the student competition. University to meet school as World Taekwondo Championship. The World Taekwondo is supposed to be at the Then we realized that there are a lot of brilliant family students. So we set out what we call the UPSA Endowment Fund, for which we try to raise money to corporate organizations. We are about to say that even staff members contribute to that fund, including the Vice Chancellor, to take care of those students. So this for students initially, that's about the numbers have increased. This gentleman had a partnership with CTFM, and for which we awarded the scholarship. He has a booster. He finished last year with the first class. That's what happens when we support women and students. Then I have good service. This is my heartbeat. That we don't want to arrive there in Medina, so we must contribute to the community development. So these are the things that we did. But by 50 advice, we are taught like on another business school. It starts behind the market, the car market, where the market will send their children. So you can imagine the state of that's our schools. We are not going to realize that there are huge needs that right in the heart of the leader. So we are not that we launched the 50th anniversary in that committee in the school. Alright, so it's ambitious. So after that, we actually organized vacation classes for all students with the Medina environments. The vacation, those are pictures of the classes we organized. Over 400 students participated in the vacation classes, from which our lectures volunteered to teach them English, mathematics, science, IT, and leadership. And that's how the class went. And I paid tribute to auditorium, John Bosco, the big, the good ladies. So you can tell there's a lot of things to be done. Again, I find that I go to schools also to speak to them about leadership. So here I don't start them. I went to Aquinas and Brethren. Here I was at Aquinas to speak to the students. And that's that. Some of our that's also to accounting for us. Also speaking to some of the students and them to teach. We had a reading club that I go to the basic school. Fridays, we go and read with them, and I forgot to go there. The school we realized that there was no place to eat. So we constructed a shed for them, so as a canteen. That's what you see there. Then they complained that the wall, the wall is broken now. As usual, we smokers get in there. After smoking, they won't go and they never get it. So profit for them. So we have to construct the wall for them as well. This is when we donated books to the same school to help their reading habits. And again, you give a scholarship to, and we said after they won the answer the announcement, the headmaster team us, and we awarded the scholarship for actual science for them. And that is what you see. And you see that there are a lot of informal business around UPSA across the globe in England. We also organize what's called a financial literacy training program for people in the state doing that. And so you see business around over 300 of them. We partner with them and then organize this and run the program for them. So the basic accounting, not that we do basic marketing. These are people from across the legal environments, and that's what we do for the community. Of leadership. Okay. We don't only go to the close and the down, but we also go to every power. We also have one that lecture to start 2017. The first lecture was started by His Excellency Dr. Deepen Chancellor, and then the pitching to Elijah. He was then heading our center for commercial leadership. He played a key role in getting this program to start, and he was able to bring the chambers. We celebrate you today. So that's how it started. Small beginnings. The following year, the president before was in 2018. That was a small children. We learned lecture by president before. That was a year after.
Let's clap for him. I think he did fantastic. From modest beginning to our international collaboration, to our programs, the collaboration with stakeholders, looking forward to our enhanced and sustained relationship with the media, and awards which keeps coming. And let's clap for UPSA. I think we did well. We will take a little break. I think it's time to have dinner. We don't want to keep you here starved. And so we'll have some background music and we'll have our dinner and then we'll continue with the program. Thank you very much. You'll be ushered out to plate your food and then you'll come back.
Because everybody's eating, I don't deserve any applause. Well, Theo. Good evening, Vice Chancellor. Good evening, media friends, colleagues, MDs, general managers, editors, journalists. I think that I hold a very special place here because I've been honored or privileged to, on 2 occasions, to give the commencement ceremony at UPSA, and it was a very good feeling. When the Vice Chancellor was rolling his presentation, I was hoping that he would mention that Me Too was here some. But Vice Chancellor, on a more serious note, I'd like to say that when I saw your presentation, I was very excited, especially because of your community engagement, the financial literacy you provide to the businesses around you. I'm sure one day, even if it's 300 as you mentioned, even if it's 10%, that benefit from it, you would have impacted very positively on the environment. The other thing that I found very exciting was your support for the schools around La Pantanan and all of that. What you may end up doing without knowing is that when you are long gone as Vice Chancellor. Some class 3 kid or class 4, class 5 kid from Lafantanan will come here and get a first class in whatever discipline that they may choose, simply because you provided the basics for them without necessarily knowing what the future would hold. So I'd like to congratulate you, your staff, your management on that particular effort at giving back to the society in which you operate. And if you don't mind, shall we applaud them for giving back? At the end of the day, if we don't give back, really, we have achieved nothing. You may earn all the degrees, make all the money, derive all the impact, but if your society doesn't benefit from it, I really don't see what you have done. So I'd like to congratulate you on that. The buildings are there, yes. You pay tribute to those before you, what they have done, what you're doing, and what you hope to do going forward. I am not sure that I am authorized to speak for the entire media, but I'm sure that with the assembly of the media we have here, you are in a very good place. And I believe that the relationships that you intend to forge going forward, or building on the networks that you've already started, I'm sure going forward you'll find that the media will always be your ally. Except that I can tell you for a fact that should anything go wrong, we'll be the first to talk about it. And the only advantage you would have is that you'll still have a listening ear from us in the media. One of us I know here who's benefited from you, but who I'll ask you to be very cautious of, is Mr. Ken Crunchy, who attended some lectures here apparently. And I say this advisedly, that unfortunately he's a lawyer. I don't know who agreed that this man should become a lawyer. He will give them grief, trust me. Ken and I began our media journey, it's been about 30 years now. About 30 years ago, nobody thought you'd be a lawyer and I'll have the chance to speak here. So let me also use this opportunity, knowing where you have come from, to sincerely say congratulations, my brother. I've known you for about 30 years. I know your drive, your enthusiasm, your troubles, and I think you should pay Justice Atuguba a visit and fully robe and go and tell him, now I'm here. So I want to heartfelt from my heart say congratulations, thank you. And you've done well for yourself, except that they've just opened the Pandora's box. So that's only on a light note, but thank you, my media brothers and sisters, for showing up. I have had a very personal relationship with the Vice Chancellor and quite a number of them here, and I'd simply say this is a good place to be. And so let us support UPSA as much as we can through our writings on radio, on television, online. If you check out the presentation, it started from 1965, am I right? It was somebody's dream. I'm not sure even he himself at age almost 100. He's what, 94 now. I'm sure if he looks at what his dream has become, he himself probably didn't even think it would be this big. And so the only thing we can do is to support it to become bigger, better, and more rewarding than it is. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Secretary. I'm sure if I had said a few minutes, he would have taken the whole night. But thank you. I know. We'll have the last one, the Managing Director of the Graphic Communication Group, who is a friend to this university. So let's welcome Mr. Chancellor.
The Vice Chancellor of UPSA, Faculty of UPSA, our media executives, editors, and teams here in gathered. I think if Kwame has spoken, I really don't have any more to say. But I think that it's probably my third time coming in here in the last probably close to 30 years. And it's been transformational. Transformational in the impact that this community has done for Ghana, for what it is that it has done for the neighborhood in which it sits, and for its contribution to teaching, learning, and professionalism in this beautiful country of ours. The first time I came here, I was a young advertising executive working in Ogilvy. I came to visit a friend who presently lives in the States. And I didn't know where to go. Because I didn't grow up in Accra, first of all. I had a bit of an experience growing up in Legon, and the old folks moved to the Cape Coast University. So this place was far out of the way for me, coming out of Auditorium Estates where I used to live. The second time I came here, His Royal Majesty Otumfuo Osei II was speaking, which I believe the VC referred to. And His Royal Majesty and I and our business, we have a very strong relationship. So he personally invited me. And I got here, I was directed to a hall. I was actually late because traffic, I didn't calculate traffic reasonably well. This evening, I think I was the first to get here because I mapped my route really ahead and was able to get here on time. I missed most of the physical interaction. When Nana was walking out with his entourage, he recognized me and called me. He literally summoned me, as VC has summoned us here today. And I was like, wow. All this has happened in the time that I've been growing up, working on this continent, and I've had the privilege of becoming a managing director of the Graphic Communications Group Limited. So I qualify to come and sit with people like Kwame Sefakan, who I've known from ever. He's a famous man.
You started before me, remember?
We are civilians, you are a big man. But I think that this institution has come a long way. On that particular evening, after we've been able to see His Royal Majesty, he wanted to take me away, but I said no, I wanted to interact with the university community a bit. And I got the privilege of also sitting with the original founder of this institution. I think we met somewhere upstairs there. And I listened to him and I asked him a few questions. He'd aged though, but he was able to speak reasonably well. And I couldn't have been more impressed. I subsequently asked a lot of questions as to how this has evolved, and I think VC has shown most of it in his narrative on the screens. Today is my third time here. And it's been, I think, 2+ years since that last visit. And I couldn't have been more excited. First of all, I actually have a niece. My older brother's second daughter is in college here, studying with yourselves. And she's excited to be here. It was her birthday last week. So I called her and I said, how did you end up knowing about this school? And she says it had always been at the fore of her thoughts to come to a place like this and to come to UPSA. She didn't choose to go. My dad is her grandfather is a retired professor. So Legon, Cape Coast, she didn't choose either. She opted to be here. It tells you there's something that is going on in this institution, in this community that you've created. And I believe that you continue to go further and farther with the quality of minds in students, young minds, curious minds that you've assembled, the strength and depth of the faculty that is assembled, and the leadership that you've curated over time. I think you've done incredibly well. For us at the Graphic Communications Group Limited, we have a special relationship with the UPSA. When I got in earlier interacting outside, one of the faculty, I couldn't catch his name, but he teaches in the business school, tall man like that. I don't know if he's somewhere in the hall. There he is. The name, VC. He was asking me a question. And I said, there's a certain young man called Franklin Soa who is stuffing his face busily. So I won't ask him to say any more for a while. But the prof asked, we have a special relationship that involved the distribution of the graphic business to the business faculty. And I said, yes. Actually, that's some big thing that this university has done for that particular brand, which is the foremost business publication in this country. But he raised the note that it seems the volumes have come down in recent times. And I said, yes, I'm aware. When COVID came and we learned new words like fellow, which sounded like something from horse racing amongst others, we all ended up working from home. Universities were doing something they called virtual and whatever learning. We knew there was a faculty somewhere in the University of Ghana called Adult Education and Distant Learning. But all of a sudden, all of us from primary school through secondary schools to the colleges ended up doing some virtual work. So that may explain why the numbers are down. But I believe that as you are coming back, and as I see 21,000 students here, I presume that even if the business faculty is some 5% of that number, Director Marketing, kindly make sure that it happens. And VC, we believe that with the commitment and support that you demonstrate over time, that relationship will deepen. There's a proposition that was launched on the back of that, the Graphic Business Tertiary Science Challenge. I didn't see that UPSA has won. That proposition was built around the experience and the learnings that we picked from here. 2023 has to be on the board as one of the big awards that you have won. We actually do that in collaboration with our partners, TV3 on the Media General Group. They've been very supportive on that. So it's actually broadcast live. The finals go around the country. So if you want more people to see UPSA in light and to draw more students, a deeper faculty bench, I believe that that's one of your channels to use to expose what it is that you're doing. We're going to launch that proposition pretty shortly, and we'll come back to you for the support and the participation that you would bring onto that portfolio. But I must say that third time coming here has been enlightening. I get even to be served dinner on a university campus. When I left university long ago, I never dreamt that one day this troublesome boy would get the privilege of standing in front of professors and a vice chancellor to speak at a university podium. I am really humbled and privileged, and I thank you all. Kwame has made the note that it is up to us to help take this gown to town. Let us support an institution started by a Ghanaian, built by Ghanaians, maintained by Ghanaians, and is grown by Ghanaians, to come to a place where it would go beyond first on some list fourth in the country to the utmost levels where it could be. I believe we've got it all. It's a time where the pride and origins is coming through very clearly. COVID showed us a few things. As a people, we seem to be losing track of that. The conflict that is happening in parts of Eastern Europe is bringing our minds back to that which we need to begin to deepen rather consciously. We have to begin to believe in ourselves. Why are we sending students on scholarships abroad when there are big campuses like the UPSA offering both academic and professional studies here? Let's put those resources in state scholarships into some of these institutions, and I believe that will be better for. And we will learn to build things that come from a pride of place that is Ghanaian and that is for this continent. That is very important to me. And that is very important to the mandate that I sit with.
Thank you very much, Satuafo. I told my colleague we have a headline right there. We in UPSA take the Beyond Aid agenda very seriously. And so thank you for your kind words. I would like to invite the registrar, Dr. Chloe Wright, to speak to the essay guide to launch it. Let's welcome her.
Good evening once again. I know tonight seems like it is us asking what you can do for us. But I think more importantly, you are here because we would also like to know what we can do for you. As I was sitting down listening to everything, one thing came to mind. We can serve more if more know about our services. And so although we are in the business of education, we really are in the business of serving the nation. And we urge all of you to see us in that capacity and reach out to us if assistance is needed. Of course, we also always want to see UPSA in the papers, but we also understand that not everything can be free. So we also urge you to contact us and partner with us on how we can develop some programming so that UPSA can be top of mind throughout the year. Having said that, one thing we all in the media struggle with is experts. Who can we call to talk about blind? Who can we talk to talk about blind? And I know VC dreads that call on Saturday night saying, Prof, do you know anyone who can speak on? So what we have done is we have developed an experts guide here at the university. Many times we tend to rely on the same people that we know when we are listening to shows, and that doesn't allow the diversity and democracy that we'd all like to see. We need to deepen our democracy and deepen our connections by having other voices in the mix so that we can all appreciate the nuances in the stories. So with our experts guide, we have all our faculty members who are willing to speak with the media, and they have also provided us with their areas of expertise. So as you look for new voices, or even voices to challenge the old voices that you hear every day, we urge you to contact myself, Mrs. Loco, and we'll be happy to connect you with a UPSA faculty member or staff who will be able to provide reasoned and learned contributions to help with the national discourse. So on behalf of the Vice Chancellor, on behalf of all our faculty here today, we are proud to present to you the UPSA Experts Guide. Thank you.
We are almost at the end of the evening's program, a time with the Vice Chancellor, time for interaction. If you have any questions you want to ask the VC, this will be the time. So let's get to know each other better whilst we bring the evening to a beautiful end.
My name is Siagonda. I work with the Daily Guide newspaper. I want to commend the Public Affairs Unit or Department of this university. They have established a certain relationship with me to such an extent that even at the 11th hour, when I will no longer take any story for the next day, I do. I think because they work in this kind of environment, they have learned how to market themselves. Thank you very much.
Occasion that professionals are actually taking a position in favor of issues presented to the state, and what was the response? Thank you very much.
We have our faculty members who speak on various platforms on national issues.
So at all levels, we try to influence and to shape governance in this country. So we do our best. Actually, someone was about that commending us, and we are grateful.
I'm with the Research Life Newspaper. My issues are two. Recently, there was a very famous case of the Vice Chancellor saying that admission to this school will be based on aggregate 6. I'm wondering whether that position still stands or whether it was an official position. My second issue was that recently I was in an engagement with the Ministry of Education, and there was this famous accusation that universities are producing courses and producing students who are not fit for the market. Does UPSA have a view? And particularly, you keep track of the students you produce to see how they are being professional after they leave your course. Thank you very much. And let me commend you for a very good evening. I've had a good time. Thank you.
Okay, yes. I invited him especially to be here because the question came through graphic online, and I said, no, I need to say okay to answer the question directly. First of all, University Medical School, PA University, the law school at the UG, they take at least 6. Nobody questions them for it. The reason is simply this. First of all, again, what you do in this country, they do some out of context. It was a matriculation ceremony 2 years ago, and I was commenting on the fact that the rate at which people apply to UPSA, if you are not careful, the time will come when you don't obtain that basis, you can't get in. That is the point, at which is a function of performance. So let's say UPSA says that it's at the 6 you are taking, and those who applied, they all got 25. If you don't take them, they're low students. But then if you say you can do that, but they all got at 6, you stop at 6. So really, it's a function of performance. When people do well, and the university as a good man is trusted, you get to go apply with good grades. That's why you see that in the medical school. This year, for example, if you see those who apply to do law at UPSA, in the past, we were taking 12, 13. Now here you are, more than half of those who applied. Yeah. The least grade was 9. In that instance, you can't put somebody who was 10, you put somebody who was 9. So that's where we are, because somebody trusts them run more, and therefore those with the good grades are applying. But it's simply a function of performance. When people do well, they apply. We take them. If you don't do well too when they apply, we have no choice, because we are paid by the public purse. And that's what it is. Abubakar
is of University. May I first commend you for this very important see a certain transformation by most of our tertiary institutions in the area of demystifying the ivory tower concept. Hitherto, universities exist, talking among themselves, getting their promotions, and that ends. But in a situation where universities themselves are coming out to shape governance, I think it's a full march towards the turning of this country into something that will benefit posterity. I'm saying this because I studied in South Africa, did my PhD in South Africa. And at the University of the UPSA, lecturers are made to go out to the media and share whatever research that they have. And they also benefit from that in the sense that when you are going in for promotion, it becomes part of your outreach. And their counterpart of national, we have this institution, I've forgotten the name, that monitors National Council for Tertiary Education. They have their counterpart that monitors and tries to weigh whatever contribution universities make to society to determine their votes. And so, well done for this initiative. My second observation is that when you talked about the partnership, this partnership is going to be mutual in terms of the benefits that will come out of it. And I like the registrar's position that there's going to be expert guides. So that will help us. But the problem that I have observed in my 30 years in journalism or broadcasting is that if we attend workshops, seminars, presentations made by academics, in most cases academics come back and say we have been misreported, misquoted. I want to appeal that if you can team up with the GJA and organize some workshops or seminars for journalists as to how they report academics, I think it will be very good for us. And that will be a very important contribution to the growth of journalism in this country. My final point. As far as 2000, I was at Radio University. We then just came out of the Voice of Labour. We then just came out of dictatorship into democratization. But the problem was, and then also liberalization. I needed somebody to help me handle marketing, practical marketing on radio. And frankly speaking, I've told you where I'm coming from, but I had to come to UPSA in those days and got one Mr. Asante. And we had this program on Radio University which ran for close to 2 years. In fact, workers were following us for the tapes and buying the tapes. Students were doing the same. So there is a lot of opportunity that we really can work together and then help not just workers in terms of upgrading themselves, but even students. We can provide apprenticeship to your communication students in the area of communications, practical terms, mentorship could be done, because that also does help in improving our way of communication and how to even write for public consumption. Thank you very much.
I honestly am not sure what to say, because I was given 2 seconds notice. Pro Vice Chancellor, and if the Pro Vice Chancellor is here and I'm given assignment and I refuse it, I better go and start preparing my resignation. And since I don't want that, I would have to accept it. But first of all, I'm not sure whether it's a vote of thanks, because for closing remarks, all I can say is the concept of a press soiree is unbelievably innovative. And I think we should thank ourselves in 2 ways. We should thank ourselves as UPSA staff for this innovative concept of our leadership, top management, middle management, and the rest of the staff. But we should thank ourselves even more as press for responding to the call and showing up here and being part of something historic. I have been privileged to have been in 3 universities, KNUST, Impact, and now UPSA, and I haven't seen anything like this. I do not think the concept is to ask you to write what we want you to write about us. My understanding of this concept is to give you a sense of enlightenment about what there is which you may not know about. I can assure you that even as a member of staff of UPSA, I have discovered a few things from the short presentation I was giving. So it is indeed a platform of opportunity by way of education. And I think that the best thing a society can have is an enlightened press. And UPSA is giving the platform for an opportunity of speaking from the perspective of knowledge. And I think the only way that can happen is if we invite you on a platform provided by us in which we tell you our story. I think the expression, the UPSA way, has come to stay or should come to stay. And that UPSA way is a way invariably that stands for excellence, that stands for success, that stands for achievement, and that stands for transformation. So it is not patronage if we say that our Vice Chancellor has succeeded in demonstrating that even in the midst of COVID, in the midst of want, in the midst of uncertainty, there can still be predictable leadership. And that is what we saw. The buildings, the Twin Towers, I don't like calling them Twin Towers because of what Twin Towers stand for. But the two towers at the gates, and the many other projects that were shown on the screen, all these projects developed and continued during COVID. And I think it's a testament to leadership of which I am proud and privileged to be a member of the community at UPSA. As one of the youngest people, I'm one of the happiest to have been admitted into the community of success. So I would like to thank you on this short notice for the opportunity of joining us on this platform, for you hearing our story, and hopefully for us to remain engaged by way of the experts who have been indicated there, so that we can have a mutually rewarding engagement. And so I'd like to thank Vice Chancellor for the opportunity of dinner, which I appreciate. And I'm probably going to ask when next we'll have the next press soiree. I would like to thank you, the media personalities, very eminent personalities, many of whom I'm engaged with. I'm delighted to have had the opportunity of meeting tonight. And I'd like to thank all of us for being a part of the UPSA project and the UPSA story. And I do hope that another time, when the call is made, we shall respond accordingly.
Thank you, Univesity. I think you concluded beautifully. Our friends who have taken time off this evening to be here, to partner us in our storytelling, we thank you so much. We hope that you will rely on our experts for your programs and to share knowledge. Thank you, and I hope you had a wonderful evening. Wish you a safe journey back home and have a pleasant evening. Thank you very much for coming.